Hello friends, welcome to Gentleman Cadet Academy GCA. Hope you all are doing good. So today the video is regarding Afspa, that is Armed Forces Special Power Act, and this is an important lecture topic, and also questions related to this can be asked in personal interview and there are high chances. So you must know about this topic. So like always, without wasting any time, let us start. So starting with the topic, so AFSPA refers to the Armed Forces Special Power Act, and it is a law that grants special powers to the Indian Armed Forces in regions deemed to be disturbed, and this law is primarily intended for areas which are facing insurgency or internal conflict, and it has been most notably applied in regions like Jammu and Kashmir as well as the northeast part of India. Now let us talk about the historical background of Armed Forces Special Power Act. So it was introduced in 1958 against the backdrop of increasing insurgent activities in Nagaland. So the insurgency arose due to greater demand for autonomy and recognition of Naga identity. So the act aimed to equip the armed forces with authority needed to quell the growing unrest in the region that was characterized by a complex pattern of ethnic identities, historical grievances, and demands for self-determination. And over the years, AFSPA has been extended to several regions of India, including Assam, Manipur, Tripura, and most notably Jammu and Kashmir. And each extension reflects the Indian government's assessment of the security situation in these areas, often in response to violent uprisings or insurgent movements. Now, let us talk about the key provisions of Armed Forces Special Power Act. So, the very first provision is the declaration of disturbed areas. So, the act applies only to the regions that have been declared disturbed by the government. Second provision is the power of arrest and search. So, under this act, armed forces personnel can arrest any person without a warrant if they believe that such person has committed or is committing or is about to commit a cognizable offense. And they can also enter and search premises without a warrant, further broadening their operational scope. Third is the use of force. So the act allows armed forces to use force even to the extent of causing death if they believe it is necessary to maintain public order. So one of the most controversial provision is the immunity from prosecution for armed forces personnel acting under the act. So this means that security personnel cannot be prosecuted without prior approval from the government, leading to allegations of impunity and lack of accountability for human rights abuses. Then fifth is the reporting requirements. So while the act provides substantial powers, but it also mandates that armed forces report their operations to higher authorities, although the effectiveness of oversight is often questioned. So this act has been applied in several regions of India, primarily in the areas affected by insurgency and unrest. So talking about the regions, firstly in North India, it was applied in Nagaland in 1958. Then it was applied in Manipur in the same year against the insurgent groups. Then in Assam also, it was applied in 1958 to address insurgency. Then it was extended in Tripura in 1980. Then it was applied to Arunachal Pradesh in 1991 and Meghalaya in 1992 due to growing unrest. And then talking about Jammu and Kashmir, it was extended throughout the Jammu and Kashmir in 1990 following the onset of militancy. Then in terms of North India also, it was implemented in 1983 in Punjab during the period of insurgency and unrest. However, it was lifted in 1997 as the situation stabilized. So now let us talk about the Armed Forces Special Power Act criticism. So over the year, this act has been the subject of significant criticisms. Critics highlight that the act grants armed forces personal legal immunity for actions taken while enforcing its provision, which is fostering a culture of immunity that raises concerns about accountability for abuses committed during military operations. And additionally, AFSPA also restrict civil liberties such as right to assemble and freedom of expression, undermining democratic principles and creating an atmosphere of fear among the local population. And many human rights organizations and activist groups, they are advocating for the repeal or the substantial reform of Armed Forces Special Power Act. However, talking about government's position, so the Indian government has consistently defended Armed Forces Special Power Act as a necessary tool for maintaining national security, especially in regions affected by insurgency, and officials argue that this act is vital for combating terrorism and protecting the integrity of the nation. So the government often cites specific incidents of violence and terrorism to justify the continued enforcement of this act. And recent debates have also included discussions on potential reforms to this act rather than the outright appeal. So some policymakers, they have suggested some modifications to increase accountability and transparency in operations conducted under this act. So finally, in the conclusion, I can say, so the Armed Forces Special Power Act is an essential tool for maintaining national security and public order in regions facing armed insurgencies or unrest. And the government argues that the law provides the armed forces with the necessary authority to combat militant activities effectively and to protect both civilians and sovereignty of the country. And it contends that AFSPA is crucial in dealing with the situations where local law enforcement may be unable to maintain control due to the intensity of the conflict. So while the government acknowledges the concerns raised by human rights group, so it maintains that AFSPA is a temporary measure applied in specific regions, and it is vital for restoring peace and stability in areas affected by insurgency. So friends, this is all about the Armed Forces Special Power Act, and I have tried to keep this video as short as possible. Hope this video will be helpful for you and you will be able to cover this topic within 3 minutes. So until then, keep learning, keep watching, keep supporting, and keep preparing. Thank you and best of luck.